Welcome back to another Judith Unhinged. In this week's show, we're talking Dutch mystery involving dogs, drama with the Beckhams, and Queer Eye, but also some very positive drama with Tenacious D. We're diving more into the boyfriend. We have a gator gate and sharing some wildlife experiences, if you can call it that. My face blindness strikes yet again. And we end with some cute news, and I hope all of this will make you smile. I'm not sharing anything but opinions and commentary. I don't offer any advice or facts, but I hope you enjoy it while the world is collapsing, because we in the Netherlands, of course, have so much fun. So let's get into the Dutch mystery of the day. All of a sudden, at a Dutch theater in Zwolle, a statue appeared of a man holding a beer while sitting on a French bulldog. What? Yes, this was the Dutch news this week. So what happened there? Really, this is a mystery. If you know any details about it, let me know. I'm dying to find out how this actually happened. But there was a theater in Zwolle, and it had a statue of a French bulldog in front of it. Like, it was this silver looking statue, and all the kids were playing with it and having fun, and it stood there for over 10 years. Then someone sat on it and it broke, or someone vandalized it. And it couldn't be repaired. They had to get rid of it, so they never replaced it. And then someone suddenly came up with this huge statue of a French bulldog with a guy sitting on it with a beer. And it says, let me think, it's a monument for the vandal. And it says, it has a little note on it, and it says, opdat wij nooit zullen vergeten. Which means, so we will never forget. Like, something really bad happened. So it's all like in honor of that other dog statue. We assume, we don't know. We only have the note on that statue that people made. They think it's from like an art school nearby, because the statue was seen there before it suddenly popped up in the theater. So maybe it's from there. The theater calls for the people that made it to come forward. Nobody, this is the Netherlands, nobody is angry. But they do want to get in touch with the person. I do hope that this is a sign for that theater. We need a new dog statue, because that is so much fun, and people deserve a little bit of fun these days, right? I really appreciate those like random acts of rebellion that are just funny, like spreading wildflowers in public. Just flowers that are there for one season, right? Nothing that will be permanent, but just like helping the bees out a little bit. And then suddenly people are like, why are there suddenly all these beautiful flowers here where there were none before? And it's like someone, a little rebel, planted them, and I think it's cute. So there was so much drama this week, wasn't there? We have the Justin Baldoni saga that just continues and continues. And now Taylor Swift and Blake Lively are involved. But even Jameela Jamil is getting dragged into it. I really don't want to talk anymore about that one. But the Beckhams, that's one I want to talk about. I mean, I really enjoyed the David documentary, and I really enjoyed the Victoria documentary. It was all good fun. I love the Spice Girls. I'm of that age, so I'm their target demographic. It's all really, really nice, and they are clearly trying to set this image of them in a certain way. And then now one of their kids is, I don't know, they're kind of rebelling on their own, right? But not in a cute way. So Victoria apparently on Brooklyn's wedding, who calls their kid Brooklyn, but whatever, to each their own. She danced with him inappropriately. Um, well, that's what some people say. I don't know. What is appropriate for some isn't appropriate for others, and vice versa. Different families have different things that they want to do. What I loved is one of my new favorite comedians, Zhao Jing Summers. She's like a tough cookie. I love her. I get to see her live one day. She's just fantastic. So go and check her out if you want to. She did a take on it and totally called out Brooklyn as a Nepo baby. Told him he's ungrateful for his parents because without his parents he cannot do anything. Like he's trying to sell this hot sauce, or is it a soy sauce? I'm not really sure. I'm like wondering like why a hot sauce or a soy sauce. Both don't make any sense. Whatever. Like, you could have never done modeling without your parents. You could have never started this company and had the sauce without sauce, right? The sauce is so important without your parents. Be grateful. I do agree with her, even though she put it not so very nicely, but I fully agree with her take. Like, be grateful for your parents, whoever you are. They did put you into this world. Um, at the least, they put you into this world, and that's something, right? But then also, like, that they're so privileged, those kids from the Beckhams. So privileged. And now they're like annoyed their mom and the wedding. It's just ungrateful. I'm just calling it. It's ungrateful. I think it's crazy. And then we had Queer Eye, right, this week with Karamo. So their new season launched. I did watch it. It's 5 episodes, very short. It's like fun, light entertainment, just like the other shows. It's not anything, anything new, anything exciting, I would say. But that drama and that Karamo says he's being like bullied by the rest of the cast, so he's not participating in the press tour because of his mental health. First of all, people should do what they want to do, set their boundaries, do whatever makes you happy, right? And whatever keeps you healthy. That's the most important thing. But these insights into the drama do influence how I see shows. So, giving some other examples are like Buffy or Castle. Right? Buffy, notoriously, that show had a lot of tension between the cast members. And once you know the backstory and everything that went on, then you can kind of see it in their performances, right? And you're sort of looking for it as well. Like, what was that look about? That wasn't in character, that was real, and stuff like that. And then it breaks the illusion for me a little bit. Castle, Nathan Fillion on his new podcast, I think I pronounced his name way too French, but that's okay. On his new podcast, Once We Were Spacemen, he opens up about a lot of things, and he also talks about Castle and how that was a very toxic set. I think most of all it was for him, like back in that day, he had to make seasons of Castle where he was the main character, but he had to produce like what is it, 24 episodes, like Xena style, right? Where the seasons aren't just like 10 episodes per season. Anytime a show has more than 10 episodes per season, I'm upset. I'm like, I want some bite-sized shows that I can binge within like 3 days or something. I don't want anything over 10 episodes. I'm sorry. Love Island. Love Island is insane. That's a commitment. That's like a long-term relationship. Why do that to us? Stop doing that to us. Just 10 episodes. It's nice. Don't continue on with 20 seasons of a show because you do not have the creative talent to keep it going. If you have a good thing going, end it within 3-4 seasons. Don't go longer than that, okay? Just stay there in the sweet spot. So Castle, I think, is main. He talks about how it was troublesome, how it was difficult, how he learned a lot from that. He was the main guy. So now on the rookie, the showrunner that did the last seasons of Castle, or some seasons of Castle, created the rookie and had Nathan on again as the number one, and on the call sheet. And that's a very different type of show, different environment. He was also hesitating because he didn't, he didn't want to be that number one. He didn't want everything to revolve, you would say, differently with his personality. I love him. But so he didn't. And but he was assured by his friend and that previous showrunner, no, it's going to be different. It's going to be ensemble. We're not going to do 24-hour work days. We're going to do it healthily and do it differently. And that's what they have been doing, which is why it's gone on for so many seasons and everybody is still happy, which is really important, right? So I think all of that knowledge, when you then watch the show, it influences you. It influences how you see things with Queer Eye. I know it's American TV and people are exaggerating their reactions. It's TV. It's not real. I know it's real, right? But it's not real. You get what I'm saying, right? It's all just an exaggeration of things, and certain things will be recreated or done a couple of times. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to make a show like that work. And you do wonder, like, what are their intentions? What's their real personality? What is their real intent with these people? That does put it into question for me. And I don't like that. And I don't enjoy a show as much if I know that those kinds of things went on behind the scenes. You don't see that. So, if they're struggling or they're having a fight or a disagreement, why not show it on the screen? It makes sense to just let them know that is going on. It seems inauthentic. That's the word. It seems inauthentic. But moving on from bad drama and onto the good drama, there was some nice news when it came to Tenacious D and Jack Black and Kyle. I'm sorry, I don't know his last name. Me and my brother Kyle. Tenacious D is possibly going to reunite. And I have to say, we went to one of their last concerts in Paris. It was amazing. Like, I've been to so many concerts. Like, I've been to festivals back in the day. We've done pop, we've done metal, we've done like everything to the moon and back, all non-discriminating. We don't judge. I do opera, I do pop, I do musicals, I do festivals, I do concerts, I do everything. And of course, these are wonderful ladies with fantastic shows. Highly recommend. I've never seen ever anyone on a podium with such charisma as Jack Black. Like, it took over everything for me. It was amazing. It was a once in a lifetime experience. They didn't have, what people now do, the Blackpink girls do this, but like we recently went to The Offspring, they do it as well. They put on this beautiful visual show, right? Tenacious D didn't have any of that. They did have, like, I think a robot that came out and they did the metal. But it was just them, like old school, like it was back in the day, them playing music. And it's just amazing. I'm sorry, Jack, but I've never seen a front man doing what he does. He has a magic something to him. And it's not like those pop stars that have the X Factor or something. It's like when Jenny does one of her powerful performances, but even her, like, she can't keep that up at like her top level, unless she does the Melon Music Awards. But like for 3 hours, no, I've never seen anyone, even the greatest performance, see do this like Jack Black did. It was truly magical. I am so happy they are reconciling. And just to get you up to speed, so he and his brother Kyle, they were hitchhiking down a long and lonesome road. All of a sudden, Kyle made a bad joke. Did you like that reference? I was very proud of myself. No, Kyle made a bad joke and about Trump, and Jack didn't appreciate it. I understand. It's like it's like you have to set boundaries with your loved ones. And you have to respect your boundaries. You have to respect their boundaries. And I understood his reaction. I agreed with his reaction. Should he have gone as far as a sort of break up? They broke up. It was very dramatic. They broke up. They were on a break. They were on a break. Though he didn't cheat on Kyle, I think. Maybe he did with The Rock. I don't know. But I think even though you set boundaries, there should also be an appreciation for those loved ones. So not forget, but do forgive and do keep talking to them and find that spot where you're both comfortable so that you can continue to make magic. Because if he ever tours in Europe again, I will be there. It doesn't matter. I will be there. I will take my friends just like I did then. It was amazing. But getting to my love, the boyfriend. I think I found my people. And they're Japanese gay men. I cannot stress enough how much I love this show, how much it sort of warms my heart to see these men being so nice, so romantic, so sweet, so intelligent in their dating, and we'll get to that. The first couple, Isaiah and William, I mean, their story, Isaiah and William, they met before and then they meet again on the show. Oh, you don't know what the boyfriend is. So the boyfriend is a gay Japanese dating show. They put some men together in a home for 2 months. So they live together and they have to work together. And they date and they send each other letters anonymously, and then there's people giving commentary. I didn't know, so I sort of was very negative about the commentary people. I now love the commentary people, okay? I'm with it. They should do commentary people on everything, because this lady, and we'll get to that, has face blindness. I can't remember names. The commentary people are excellent. They tell me who does what to who. They repeat the important things. Plus, there's a fabulous drag queen within the commentary people. Just one episode, there's a guy sitting there, and he's clearly the gay guy out of all of them. So they're like referencing him as an expert, and that's fine. But then all of a sudden, he's in this beautiful drag. And it's amazing, but it was so unexpected. I didn't know that was what I was getting. I'm getting a drag performance on top of everything. It was perfection. Okay, the commentaries. Back to Isaiah and William. So they met before the show. They know each other. And this happened a couple of times in the show, that these people know each other, which is very interesting. And Isaiah and William, Isaiah was all in on William from moment one, and William wasn't sure. And throughout the show, it becomes clear that William was hurt. So he had a love who was confirming to him, I love you so much. I want to be with you the rest of my life. And then from one day to the other, ghosted him. And he didn't want anything to do with him anymore. Their relationship was over. He's very hurt by this. So he has trouble when people say, I love you, I want you, I think you're amazing, I will always be there for you, my feelings won't get hurt. We kept thinking, like, why does William want all this reassurance? It is that experience that made him go like, oh no, I can't do this way. It is too scary. He didn't want to fully commit. But Isaiah was all in, and he was quite direct in his feelings, like maybe a lot. Not as direct as Hue, but still. And I'm sorry for butchering these names. I'm Dutch, I'm not Japanese, I'm trying my best. But Isaiah, he unfortunately lost his mother. I can't imagine at such an early age, in your 20s, when you're just starting to find your own, losing a parent like that. It's absolutely terrifying. So he was like, I have to tell people who I love how I feel. I have to express my feelings. You can't live with regret, because else, you don't know how much time you have together. It's so beautiful. And they found each other, and they were patient with each other, and they talked to each other. And at every step, they were evaluating together, like, what's our next step? They sometimes go into the dream state. They're very serious together. They don't make much jokes. They're very serious, which is the running joke on the show, that they only have serious conversations and they never talk about anything cute. But they do dream. Now, they are now in a phase where they can dream together about their future, and it is just so amazingly cute, those two. Hue and Bomi are two very different. Is a very different couple. I don't think they're officially together, though. It is very difficult for me, unless the commentators tell me, to understand the nuances in the communication, to understand what's happening. When a Dutch person kisses another Dutch person, it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. I'm sorry. It can be a fling or whatever, but it's on, but it doesn't necessarily, they don't kiss like that in Japan. They don't do it like the Dutch at all. It's very different. But it's very different over there. But Hue is this big guy, and a lot of the guys like him because they like big guys. But Bomi is this cute guy who gives him presents and thinks about him and what he would like. And Hue, when they weren't that into each other yet, but he gave him a little keychain fox. It's not that little, it's actually quite big. Why give him such a big keychain, but whatever. And he keeps like showing it off. He says like, I'm gonna show this off to everyone. Because he just wants them to know like Hue did something really nice for me. What I loved was Bomi was sick, and he was, I hope I have the right person, names, faces, difficult. But he was sick, and Hue decided, I'm gonna make him some pudding. And it reminds me of my husband, by the way. He makes fantastic custard. So he made him some custard just for him. And he came to his room. It was the first time Bomi had anyone in his room, which is also a thing, right? But he came to give him his custard in his room. And Bomi was like, oh, you made custard for everyone and you brought me some. No, I made custard for you because you're sick, and I wanted to let you know I'm thinking about it. It was so sweet. Can somebody, I need to tell my husband, he needs to make custard for me. That was so amazing. Like take notes. Men, take notes. Women, take notes. Everyone, take notes. Watch The Boyfriend. It will teach you things. And then we have Jobu. Jobu. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you haven't found love yet. He's so into everyone who's unreachable for him. And there's this older guy I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but there's this older guy, and Jobu and him would be older is 40. It's not old. Jobu and him would be perfect for each other, but they're just friends. But they would be so perfect together. Why don't they get together? But there's apparently no spark or anything. I hope that's gonna be like at the end that Jobu finds love with that guy that was there from the start. That would be so nice. This is the oldest, I think, in the group, and he had a 15-year relationship that unfortunately ended a year ago. Which is of course very sad, and he's reflecting on his relationship, and he's also building friendship, but he hasn't found love. And Jobu is like the one that falls in love at first sight. He's so excited, he has butterflies in his stomach, and then he goes for it, and they never like him. And why don't they like him? He's so cute. What I love is these men are indirect within groups. So when they're all together, they do talk and they do give signals, but it's all very indirect. It's like cultural awareness, right? There's this theory about where each culture is on the spectrum, and like the Japanese and the Dutch are very on opposite ends of the spectrum. The Dutch are so direct and the Japanese are so indirect. Like when in Japan, in corporate culture, you ask, does anyone have a question? In the Netherlands, you don't have to. First of all, you don't have to ask, because they will tell you their questions. They will disagree with you anyways. But in Japanese culture, it's like you have to look everyone in the eye, and the ones with a sparkle in their eye, those are the ones with questions. And then you ask, do you have a question? And then they ask their question. But it's like you have to be tuned into the subtle nuances and the indirectness of these people, because all of a sudden these commentators come and they say, did you hear what they said? Like they said, the moon is blue today. And then they interpreted it as, oh, he likes that guy. And I'm like, what? Where? I didn't see it. I didn't pick up on that whatsoever. But it's so nice. It's so cute. And then, so that's what they do in a group. But one-on-one, that's all out the window. So they directly ask each other, what are your feelings for me? What are your feelings for me? And then oftentimes they get the answer back like, I don't know yet. My feelings are developing. And then they're respectful of that. In the Netherlands, we would be like, come on, you know your feeling. Tell me, you don't like me, right? Or something. But no, they give each other space, and they respect what the other person says. They also think much more about their words than we do. And then they come back later in another one-on-one situation, and they ask again, how did your feelings develop? And sometimes they develop in the positive sense, and sometimes not. And they do say that to they tell each other no in a one-on-one situation, which is just, it's a lot. What I think everyone should learn from this show is dating standards. Like, these men aren't messing around. They are dating for their future. So if you're looking for a long-term partner, if you want to fling, whatever, do whatever you want. If you're looking for a partner, no matter your orientation, take notes. These men know how to do that. So they might like somebody, right? They like someone, but then they start spending time with them, figuring out, do your interests, not necessarily like equal mine, like that they're the same, but are they matching up? What is your life rhythm? Is that matching up? If it's not matching up, could we change it so that it's matching up? Like say, for instance, one is an early bird and one is a night owl. Then they say, okay, so what do we do about this? And then someone says, well, I'm going to get up with you in the morning. Maybe I'll take a nap in the afternoon, but I won't miss the morning time with you. That morning time will be our time. And I think that's just really beautiful to see how they come together, how they date. They date so incredibly conscious, with beautiful standards, not unattainable standards, but they just try and match up. And if it doesn't match up, then it doesn't match up and they move on. And I think that's so important. That it is a beautiful show. It showcases Japanese culture. The nature scenes in the show are so incredibly beautiful. It's all filmed in the winter. There's snow everywhere. Not just like Dutch snow, like the little messy snow. No, it's like big, and not the Russian snow that they have this week, where there's like people jumping off skyscrapers into the snow. No, not that. They have just beautiful romantic snow. It is so special. And they keep falling into the snow, and then the commentators come back like, oh, snow is love. Love is snow. Ah. And the coffee truck, I mean, come on, that's like an anime canon, right? The coffee truck, they have to work in a coffee truck. It's so cute. They have to ask their crush to come and work with them for a day in the coffee truck. And if they're really close, they don't really earn much. If they don't like each other, they don't earn much either. It's so funny. Okay, next one, Gatorgate. I had so much fun on this one. So I have a new filler podcast. I listen to so many podcasts, but this is my new filler one that all my current podcasts are up to date. I have no new episodes for them. And then I go back to my filler podcast where I listen to their episodes until my regular podcasts bring out new ones. And it's We're Here to Help with Jake Johnson and Gareth. Don't know his last name, but I am a New Girl fan. And they had Gatorgate. So they have callers actually calling into the show. And Jake and Gareth always have to take the side of the caller. They can never say, I disagree with you, do something else. No, whatever the caller is asking of them, they have to take the side of the caller, even if it's not the right thing to do, like in this case. So there's a caller, and he lives in the swampy areas with lots of gators. There's elderly people there, there's other people there, there's dog people there, there's dogs. And they're walking around the swamps on trails, and they're hiking, but there's also gators around. Now, and this caller, he goes fishing in the swamp with his tiny sons. Like he has young sons that are tiny in size, near gators. Okay, we don't have gators, so whatever. It's your culture, do what you want. But it's very interesting that people do this. And there's an old guy in the community, like a senior citizen, who said, there's gators eating dogs. And he's been spreading fear among especially the elderly, so that they don't hike anymore, they don't take their dogs there anymore, because they're scared gators eat them. What to do? What they should do is what Gareth and Jake say is, you should get a plushy dog. Take all the stuffing out and fill it with meat. And put this on the edge of the swamp to see if the gators eat the stuffed dog full of meat. Because this will then prove your theory that the gators, because the caller is convinced these gators are friendly, and don't eat dogs. Like, they're of course gators, but they don't actively chase or hunt dogs, is what the caller says. So this is their solution, stuffed dog experiments. This is insane. Gators eat dogs. Gators eat birds. Gators eat humans if they have a chance. They eat things. They're predators. They will eat what they can get. They were even doing variations of that, like put some garlic in there or something else that they don't like, so that we don't train gators to eat dogs. Guess what? You don't have to train gators to eat dogs. They already eat dogs. I just thought this was hilarious. Of course, like it's not serious. I know that there's a lot of criticism on that podcast. It's not really serious. I am very curious to find out if this man actually stuffed a toy dog with meat. Of course they're gonna eat it. You don't have to do it to understand that they're gonna eat it. They're gonna eat it. That's crazy. Which brings me to wild animal experiences, like gators. Don't mess with gators. There's there's no gators here. There's like crocodile farms in France. I remember on holiday one year, there was, because we were always with rivers and nature and stuff. And they said like one crocodile escaped, so we have to be on the lookout. How? I don't know. We visited a crocodile farm or sanctuary at some point, and there were clear instructions, like there were bridges across their enclosures so that you could walk amongst them. Don't hang over the bridge. They will jump up and bite your face. I was scared. I was so scared. I was so scared of these gators. Which remind me of my wildlife experiences. So one summer we went to this zoo a lot, like so much, multiple times a week, that the staff was starting to recognize us. And one day, and this is the most special, beautiful, but most terrifying experience of my life involving wild animals. One day, one of these caretakers asked us if we would like to feed the tigers. And I always say yes to things. Okay, not everything, most things, people will admit to this, I say yes to. Don't dare me to do things, I usually do them. I warn people before I don't do it. So we went. The tigers, first of all, have a huge enclosure. They're wonderfully, whatever you have with zoos, it's also a preservation. That's how I feel about it. So the tigers have a wonderful enclosure, big enclosure, but when they are feeding the tigers, they go into a smaller cage where the staff can also see them, treat them if necessary, and they can observe them very easily. So it's a smaller space. These are huge tigers, like huge. But it's a very small space, huge cages with thick bars. So it's clear that this is an animal with strength, right? But we go in and there's maybe 2 meters, 6 feet between us and the steel bars of the cages. There's big piles of meat lying on these heightened beds. Like there's a bed at sort of face level, and there's meat on those beds, all aluminum or steel, whatever it is. The tigers, we can hear them outside. They're not inside yet. And then the staff member lets them in, and he does instruct us not to do anything, but I think that was pretty clear. And the tigers come in. I have never been more afraid in my life than at that time. It was so scary. We hugged the wall completely. I mean, it wasn't even an option to really move. The smell, I can still, because I don't remember anything. I remember the smell. I remember how big they looked. I remember if I take one step forward, they will get me and they will eat me and they will kill me or they will play with me until I die. It was clear to me, these are not to be messed with. These are wild animals. They are scary and we should just observe them, respect them, and that's it. I do not understand, like the Tiger King. People that want to hug tigers, be friends with tigers. Are you kidding me? It is crazy to me. It is so scary to me. And no matter your relationship, of course you can have a relationship with a tiger. It's an intelligent animal, just like our cats are intelligent animals, right? But your cat would eat you. Tell me one cat owner that if your cat had the chance, wouldn't eat you. They would eat you. They're also predators. Anyway, that's it for my wild animal experiences. Well, there was this dog in France. It was a guard dog. That was also very scary. But maybe that is not really a wild animal, is it? That's for another day. Maybe I'll tell that story one day. But my face blindness struck again this week. And not a little bit. And I'm a little bit ashamed to tell you. I did explain my face blindness in the Witches series, so watch that if you don't understand. Like, Gerald was replaced, right? I didn't really notice. So, this week I had a similar experience with The Lincoln Lawyer, a show on Netflix. Season 4 is coming out soon. I thought this was the new show of Tom Ellis. Tom Ellis, who plays Lucifer. I mean, it's a guy, a white guy with dark features in a beautiful car, driving around in a suit. I thought it was Tom Ellis. I put it on my list because I thought I was gonna see him do another Lucifer thing. I thought this would be great. It's, what's his name? Manuel Garcia Rulfo. It's an entirely different person. I'm still watching the show thinking, this is Tom Ellis. No, it's not. And then I had the same thing as a backstory, the Phoenician scheme with Benicio del Toro. I was watching that with a friend. And I just thought the entire movie I was watching Brad Pitt. I did. I thought he had, he looked a little bit different, but he's getting older as well. I thought I was watching Brad Pitt. So when I was watching one battle after another, I again thought it was Brad Pitt. It's definitely not Brad Pitt. I don't see the difference. I'm sorry, I don't see the difference. What I did notice was Neve Campbell. And I think I might be developing a little bit of an obsession on her in The Lincoln Lawyer. She plays a recurring role, a main cast role. She's wonderful. Oh my goodness, how she has aged beautifully. Which reminds me of Emilia Clarke, who this week spoke out about aging. She doesn't want filler. She doesn't want to fill up all her wrinkles on her face because she wants her face to reflect life. I think that's beautiful. Okay, to end with something really fun and cute, I want to call out a beautiful artist. And his name is, and I'm going to butcher it again, Shoji Yamasaki. And he creates littered movements. And it's an art form where he observes trash, then creates a costume and the choreography to match how the trash moves in the wind, and then does a dance and records that. It is absolutely stunning. And it is a cute reminder of how beautiful our world is, how beautiful even our trash can be. Look him up. It's amazing. I hope you had a fun time listening to me. Come back next week or watch my series. Every day I post new shorts. And talk to you soon. Bye.